What has been your
It is.
experience?
My experience has been that the anxiety and the depression. And when I say depression, I went through a period of time that I had suicidal ideation every month as a
Wow.
result of my period, because that's how bad that type of depression was.
The information shared on Everyday Period is for educational and informational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of a qualified healthcare provider with any questions or concerns you may have regarding your health or medical condition. Never disregard professional medical advice or delay seeking it because of something you heard on this show. Your health is unique, and only a medical professional can provide personalized guidance. Everyday Period removes the taboo, the stigma, and awkwardness from reproductive health and introduces real empowering conversations to create greater understanding. Hi, I am Shelly-Ann, the Period Lady, and I'll be your host and guide as we navigate the murky waters of all things reproductive health. Are you ready? Let's normalize the talk, celebrate the experience, and make periods something we're proud to discuss. Welcome to the conversation. I want to hear from you. If you have any questions or comments about the topic, or if you have a question about reproductive health generally, send us an email at embraceherflow@gmail.com. You can also like, share, and subscribe to our channel, Period TV. And just remember, we are here for you. Everyday Period is brought to you by Her Flow Foundation, empowering Jamaicans one flow at a time. Everyday Period is an AP1 production. Follow Her Flow on Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, and Facebook at Her Flow Foundation, and visit our website at embraceherflow.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our newsletter. Okay, so today on our show, I'm excited to bring on this lady. Lord Jesus, I'm not going to see why I'm excited in a minute, but I have to introduce her properly, so let me consult my notes. She is an artist, an activist, an academic alchemist who has lectured at the Institute of Gender and Development Study in UA, Mona, since 2014. She bright. Her teaching, activism, curriculum development, content creation, event curation, and coaching centers social justice with a focus on personal and community transformation. Listen, she holds a master's degree in gender study from Queen's University in Ontario, and she holds a BA in media and communication, so she can chat. Welcome, future doctor, because she's doing her PhD too, Carla Moore, to Everyday Period.
Shelly, why you have to draw for the Britain and the middle and something like you could have just said a full stop. Hi, Shelly-Ann.
Hi, you're busy. We know that you're busy.
Yeah.
You're a very busy lady, and we're happy to hear all the things you have to say. And so I'm just going to jump right into it because we want to know your business, so we hear about the things that you do scholastically, but let us find some things about you.
I come here to talk my business.
Good. So
Let's
let's
go.
start with a period story. Do you remember your first period?
No, because my first period was at 4 months.
Tell us about that.
Well, I wasn't really present for it actually, but when my mother tells me, she says that at 4 months, she started to see a little blood. And of course, as any mother, you start to freak out and you wonder if somebody has been interfering with the child. All of them think they rushed me to the pediatrician, and the pediatrician said, no, it's actually a thing that can happen to babies where they can have like a little mini period.
Yes.
I was doing some research to try to understand it, and I see them calling it like mini puberty, but it's something that can happen. So that was my first period story at 4 months.
Oh, wow. And that's an important story, because you have a lot of parents who will see that and, as you said, immediately jump to some sort of wrongdoing, and they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So that's a very important experience that you shared there. So tell us about the one that you remember.
The nether period story. So then when I actually got my period, it was in high school. I was in high school. I feel like I got it at home, so I didn't have that trauma of, the skirt mess up and them type of thing there. My first period did at.
Ooh.
It did at full bad.
Oh, gosh.
And it did very heavy.
Do you know what was happening to you at the time?
I knew because my mother, that's the history of my family. My family, we tend to get periods early. My mother got her period at 8. And we usually have heavy and painful periods. So I didn't know, and I've been kind of preparing for it. When I did I graduate prep school, my mind, they tell me that the period I got come that day there. And so I start get a whole heap of anxiety about it. And I was wearing white for the graduation. And so my mother said, well, the hunger thing that we can do is we can make you wear a period to the graduation in case the period come. Shelly, it was not ultra thin. At a big thick period, so I walk like dog. Pardon. When I walk, go up at the place, I walk like dog. But, you know, that's what I needed for security. Because my mind just told me that it was going to come and embarrass me that day. But when it finally came, I had irregular periods. So it would have come. And then it would have take a 3 months break.
Right.
And then it would have come again.
Right.
But when it come, it around for 2 weeks. And so I got to the doctor and I said, what that? And the doctor said, it is making up for last time. And I said, that doesn't seem medically accurate to me. But if that's what you said, then I'ma believe you. And then as I got older, I started to realize that I have PMDD, which is...
PMDD. You see, we don't just say letters on this show. We need to explain what is that mean. So tell us, what's PMDD?
Premenstrual Dysphoric Disorder or Dysphoria Disorder. So if you imagine PMS, but on crack.
Yes.
Like the worst.
Yeah, and one of the things that happens with PMDD is that you find that there are a lot of mental and emotional symptoms, and those symptoms are very acute.
Yeah.
So you'll find things like heightened anxiety and depression is very, very prevalent in PMDD. What has been your experience?
My experience has been that the anxiety and the depression, and when I say depression, I went through a period of time that I had suicidal ideation every month as a result of my period, because that's how bad that type of depression was. I have very deep brain fog. So that I can't form a sentence. I'm talking to you and it feels like it's taking every bit of energy that I have in my body to just hold the sentence that I'm saying to you, so I can get it. I have to concentrate. Terrible pain. Last month, I couldn't walk. I was bent over. But then I also get muscle pain, joint pain, so full body pain. And my inflammation is extremely high. So it's to the point where if you touch me, it hurts. If you just put your hand on me, it hurts. And it's complicated because I literally get like 2 good weeks every month. And then the rest of the week, then I fight for my life. Because once I ovulate, my inflammation goes through the roof and all of the other symptoms start setting in up until I have my period.
So what do you do to cope? That's a lot.
I think I'm lucky in that I work with people that I can talk to about it and let them know. A lot of it is about managing the symptoms, right? When you have PMDD, they'll tell you, we can't cure this, we can treat the symptoms. So we can give you anxiety meds for the anxiety, we can depression meds for the depression. One of the first things that they're going to try to do is to put you on birth control, right? Hormonal birth control. But hormonal birth control is not simple when you're my size, because there's an increased risk for clotting, right? Deep vein thrombosis, all them type of stuff that can go on in your body. So I have tried to stay away from hormonal birth control. And actually for me, my gynecologist had said it's not the best choice for you. I would actually recommend you do like the cup of tea, cup of tea or something like that.
Right.
So it's basically managing the symptoms. I know that it's very hard to get work done in that time. And I think that's something that I want us to talk about more in this conversation. But I just have to manage my energy very carefully. Nobody feel like you're going to see me out anywhere. I not even stop to have extra conversation with people. Because I have 3 ounces of energy today, and I have to use it. And you see, as the 3 ounces done, well, shall I eat that? I don't have nothing left. But it's hard, and it's harder because it's every month. It's not a one-time thing.
It's not a one-time thing, right? Well, you see, it is so important that you're talking about these symptoms, because one of the things that we hear when women go through periods, or even when people who talk to these women or have to deal with these women, they walk away thinking, "Lash, miserably.
Yeah.
I can't. Every time, every couple of weeks, it's just so horrible to be around."
Yeah.
And the truth is, I always say it all the time: that nobody is good company when you're in pain.
Yeah.
If your body are fight against you, you're not having a smile on your face.
Yeah.
You're not the most cooperative. You don't want to talk to nobody. You just want to do what you're doing with your 3 ounces of energy and get on with it. What do you have to say to people who have to come across, or who knows that the person that they are dealing with has PMDD, that how they can support them?
Yeah, I want to say it directly to the camera here.
Yes, go ahead.
as difficult as it is for you to deal with a person who has PMDD, it is worse having PMDD. So you're not the victim in the situation. You who have to deal with my bad mood, you is not the victim. Me, who body I try fight me to death, me feel like me in the arena, in a this is Sparta situation, and me are the victim in the situation. Keep the levels, right? I think that's what I want people to know is that, and also I'm not choosing to be this way.
Correct.
The miserable version of me that you're getting, that's me trying my best. Me literally get up and hold meditation this morning for try be an easier person to deal with. And what you're looking at is where my best effort has gotten me. I think when it comes on to pain that's related to a period, we don't take it seriously as pain.
Not at all.
Right?
And you hear people say things like, they don't feel that last month. Then how much years now you have your period? You don't get used to that by now.
Right. And I think for some people, probably the closest they'll come to understanding it is if you have a toothache. If you have a toothache where it come up and it hurt you, you rub like something on it and it go down. And then it come up and it hurt you again. Every time it starts hurting you, regardless of the fact that it hurt you in the past, this pain is new and unique because it is this episode of pain.
No, but we don't apply that logic to any other kind of pain.
No, we don't.
We don't say to somebody who has a migraine problem, then why are you crying about? You had migraine this morning, what's the issue? We don't say that to anybody. If you stub your toe, then say, what's the problem? You not stub your toe already? You stubbed your toe 5 weeks ago, what's the issue? So I think that it's just how we see periods generally and the fact that we do not think, and I think on a level they actually don't believe that you're in that kind of pain.
No, because low-key we believe that women are hysterical.
Well, here comes the hysterical word.
Remember, we're hysterical and we're mad and we're just over-dramatic and we blow up everything more than they need to blow up and we just need for wallet.
Extra.
And we're extra. And we need for wallet. And may I say, I'm not a shopping cart. Me is not a clothespin. The amount of something when they want me for wall, me cannot hold them. And realistically, me don't wallet. Me a wallet. And I wish people would understand that they love to talk to women as though we're not doing the best that we can under very difficult circumstances. And the irony is, when you say to people, who is the strongest person you know, my mother. My mother, the strongest person we ever know. The amount of something where that woman they got through. Yes. But when it comes to other women, when they tell you about their situations, why a woman love complain about everything, is your mother not a woman? Why is your mother different from every other woman you've ever met? You get what I'm saying?
That's probably a thing, you know. Maybe they don't think of their mother as a woman.
No, they don't, because they don't think of their mother as sexual.
Yes.
Yeah. Like from a gender perspective.
The only time their mother had sex was for them.
Yeah, and if you tell them about it, they actually don't want to hear.
And they don't want to hear about that one time.
No.
The idea of their mothers being on her head top, rolling around, it's not something that...
Shelly, please stop traumatizing people. Them. Nobody mother never go find them
She didn't like it.
Nobody
she didn't like the orgasms at all.
Shelly, orgasms.
Orgasms. Yes, mommy have orgasms too. Talk to your therapist about that next time. Yes. All right. So I know that you alluded to just talking about what happens in the workplace, and this is something that is very important to me because I have had so many conversations with employers. I can remember this one employer who said to me, he has this great worker, and he describes all the things that she is and how great she is and how we can rely on her. And then he says, but you can't bother because every month she calls in sick. I said, so what's happening to her? Something with that period, but we can't bother because, even when she home, she will work and thing, but we just feel like she'll take advantage of me now.
Yeah.
I said, so hold on. You just described your dream employee and you said all the things about her are good, except the fact that it sounds like she has a difficult period.
Yeah.
And you want to replace the best employee you had because she has a difficult period. And by your own account, when she's at home resting on her difficult period, she's still working, but you just feel like she's taking advantage of you. Would you feel the same if she had asthma? No, because asthma is serious. And we say, oh, so it's not the fact that she's sick, is what you're having the issue with.
Yeah.
Do you see this? Do you see how, or whenever we have other illnesses, empathy.
Yeah.
You get sympathy, you get all the time you need, you understand that, boy, it's hard to work through that kind of thing. But period, take 2 pills and come and work.
But there's so much stigma around periods that if I were going to choose to try to beat the system, forget days off without excuse, I never period me never used to that.
Of course not.
Because first of all, it's embarrassing for so many people to talk about their period. Me not gonna pick that one day. Me not gonna tell you anything about period, brother. Like the 2 things that I would not try to explain to my boss: period and explosive diarrhea. I wouldn't, because both of them bring that same expression.
I think you'll get through with the diarrhea because they can relate to diarrhea.
Belly walk, right?
You can,
but we don't. I think that for somebody who has had to navigate PMDD throughout my life, there's a lot of things that come into play, right? So PMDD is going to affect my mental health. We don't like to talk about mental health, right? Then it's related to my period. We don't like to talk about period. So for me to figure out how to say to somebody, I am having my mental health is in shambles because of my period, is like my double curse myself, you know? And we have these things that we think make people inefficient in the workplace.
Yes.
A mental health condition is one of them. Having a period disorder, right? Because remember that the workplace that we know was not built with the idea of a woman as a worker.
Correct.
It's built with the man. And that's why things like maternity leave you have to lobby for. That's why a period is not something that is considered in the workplace. It's why, you know, we don't think that, oh, maybe pads should be available in the workplace, them type of thing.
I'm working on it, Carla. I'm working on it.
We will give you coffee and we will give you tea because we understand, say, you have a must gas, but we don't understand, say, oh, you know, say, I got bleed. Oh, we don't think about that, right? And so there's a lot that people have to go through, and there's a lot that people hide.
Right.
And so you either use off all of your sick days, just trying to get through this, or you're pushing yourself through it, and you're coming under judgment because you're not performing
at your optimum.
Because PMDD, you have the pain, you have the shame, and then you have I cannot function at my optimum. I can't. Right? I am still doing a good job, but I'm 150% person. I'm at 100 today. But what you think is that 150 is what I should be. I cannot. And please understand that it's not an excuse.
Oh, it's not an excuse. That is so important.
It's not an excuse. And I think sometimes the way that people respond to women who are having issues related to menstrual health, we don't recognize that there's actually a systemic problem, which is we have under-researched women's bodies and menstruation, and we have a gap in terms of the solutions that are available to women, right? We found a solution for erectile dysfunction long ago, but we still can't address things like PCOS.
But I thought they're still trying to perfect that solution for erectile dysfunction.
Right.
There's a lot of studies being paid for now to do that.
Exactly.
But I really want to address what you said about the excuse, because I think that there is just a level of disbelief that is applied whenever the issue is mental health, as you said, or period, or both. It's like, it can't be that bad.
Right.
But I know somebody who don't go through the same thing.
Yeah.
Or why you just being extra. You cannot, there's no way you can be having such an issue. And I think it is so important for us to stop treating it as if the person is just dishonest. And that's one of the reasons why I try so hard to involve men in the conversation about periods, because I really think that if they don't get truly involved and if they don't care, these things will continue to progress.
Absolutely. And it's the idea that you're lying. And I think there's something that we need to talk about when it comes on to chronic pain, right? We like the idea that people can push through. When something hurts you, you must push through. I can push through something that happened once. I cannot push through something that's happening monthly. I cannot push through something that's happening all the time. But if you can't push through, it's a failure on your part.
Of course, you didn't try hard enough.
You didn't try hard enough to lift yourself above the pain. There's only so much willpower that I have, and there's only so much pulling myself up by my bootstraps that I can do. And if what we consider is that a person who is living with chronic pain, at the point that you're encountering them, they've been pulling themselves up by their bootstraps for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. What you're looking at, the life that you're looking at, anything that they've achieved, is the outcome of them pulling themselves up by their bootstraps. At some point, the strap are going to mega and pop.
Yes, ma'am.
And we need to think about accommodation to support people so we don't require so much of this pulling up by the bootstrap. And that is not to say that people aren't trying to support themselves, because we are.
Yes, ma'am, but it is so important. You have been having this experience for quite a while now. So if you can give any word of advice to a teenager who has really crazy menstrual symptoms, I always say, do not just medicate away the pain. Don't just say, okay, I feel pain, I can just take a bunch of pills.
Yeah.
Because at some point, the painkillers alone not going to cut it. I can speak from experience on that. I used to take a cocktail of some high-powered narcotics mixed with over-the-counter. At some point, I was sure I was overdosing, but you did what you needed to do to get through the pain. What would you say to an 18-year-old or 19-year-old who's having the mental challenges along with a difficult period, but hasn't thought about having it diagnosed?
Yeah. If I were to talk to a teenager right now who is experiencing mental health challenges that seem to be coming monthly, and you think you can link it to your period, don't be afraid to consider that your period might be a part of what is happening. You're not mad out. You might be having hormonal changes, but you're not mad, because that's the first thing that you have to go through. The second thing that I would say is, no doctor diagnosed me with PMDD until I went in to a doctor and said, I think I have PMDD.
Yeah, they have
so
to look for it.
drop your symptoms into Google and see what it tells you. And don't be afraid to go in and have that conversation with a doctor to say, I think this is what is happening to me. If you know what you're dealing with, then you can figure out ways to support yourself. You're not supposed to just suffer endlessly because you happen to be a person with a period. That's not your lot in life. And ignore the people who tell you that there are biblical reasons why women are meant to suffer. You don't deserve it, so go and get the help that you deserve. Yes.
I love it. Oh gosh, boy.
Bless you.
Yes, man. You see, my body had disrupted me this morning for a completely different reason. But that's what it is when you live in this body. It's very adventurous over here.
It's very human.
Very human. All right, so I want to ask you this really quickly.
Yeah.
5 period lessons that you learned from when that first period until now. Or you can even tell me, what did you wish you know then that you have learned the hard way that would have been useful to you? Give me 5 things.
I wish I knew that a hot water bottle actually work.
Oh!
It did take me years
Really?
to big all before I actually start using it. I wish I didn't know say a hot water bottle actually work.
Oh gosh.
The one here got a little controversial.
Tell me.
I wish I didn't know say orgasm can actually help with the period pain.
Oh, listen, first of all, which camera we must use? Orgasms are great for period pain. And people say orgasm, but Shelly, that means the sex. Yes, listen. People say it all the time that is wrong. You're not supposed to have sex when you're on your period. You don't have to have sex with anybody, and you don't even have to insert anything if you're not into that. But get yourself a little vibrating friend and go to town. Listen, clitoral stimulation while you're on your period, and hello, it actually helps to relax the uterus. So all of them, the stress where your uterus go under if you squeeze out the period, it's not so bad. It's a real thing. Orgasms, yes, have them regular, them free.
Period.
You see, I get excited now.
I wish I didn't know that we are focusing on the days that you are bleeding, but the entire cycle going to affect you. And for me, when I started tracking what was happening to me from ovulation, a lot of things started to make sense. Because I would start looking at like the 3 days before the period, because I said, oh, premenstrual.
Right.
When I started tracking what was happening to me from ovulation, then I was better able to accept what happened as a part of my cycle. I wish I did know that I should not be trying to buy the cutest pad. I should be trying to buy the most effective pad.
The most effective.
Yeah, and that might mean that the pad big and it ugly and it go from your navel right to the small of your back. If it's gonna do what it needs to do, let it do it. That's number 4. And number 5, for my people who have a heavy flow and they are prone to spillage, I wish I did know that instead of putting the 2 pads behind each other like this, I should put 1 pad like this and put 1 pad like this.
Oh, like a cross?
Yes.
Oh, that's
put it at the back, so like a T.
Oh, like a T?
Yes.
No, because I saw overlap style.
Yes.
But this is like, put it like
so you
a
put
T.
1 here and then at the back of the
one
underwear, put it across if you have a heavy flow and you're worried about it, especially when you're sleeping.
No, but that makes sense.
Yes,
I see that makes perfect sense. You see, that's why we must talk to one another and we learn things. It's so important. And listen, bonus point, as Carla tips, but I'm going to put a bonus point because she mentioned it. Invest in some good fitting big baggy. Listen, I am on a big baggy campaign. I know all the people that must sell sexy baggy tell them must get the looks nice, frilly, silky ones, and you can get those too for fun times. But let me tell you something about a good fitting big baggy. On the days when you have to get creative and wear more than 1 pad, the frilly panties ain't gonna cut it. Yeah. And you don't want to be wearing a panty that gives you a wedgie when you're wearing a pad. That's not it at all.
Yeah. And if we can add to the panty, when you're getting the panty and you're choosing the panty, get somewhere have some hole to it.
Yes.
You want something where when you put it on, you feel secure. It feel like a hug.
Yes.
Feel like panty hug you up, and that you really want, because that is the panty that is not going to say, I can take on the world today without constantly and I fret and I wonder.
Yes.
And, you know, like be a girl's girl. I am okay if you get up and you feel like you're not confident. Ask me for check the back of your skirt.
Yeah, man.
Ask me. I will do it. I don't have a problem.
Please. And we work on the thing right now. You don't have to say the words. Just look on the girl behind you and she'll just do the check and get a nod.
Yeah.
And you keep it moving. You don't even have to say words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I'm in a position where I can buy menstrual products for myself, and I can afford to have extra, I walk with an extra pad. If you're there in the next cubicle side of me and you just knock 2 times and say, hey, may I have a situation over here? I would rather you ask me to borrow a pad than to use the toilet paper.
For sure.
Yeah.
And you would rather that too, because the pad would be a better option.
Exactly.
For sure.
So I have my workplace. Me are going to my class and me I teach my student them and me I say to them, well, Mrs. having PMS today, so Mrs. not in the best of moods. And them I look for me like, oh, what kind of thing that Miss you can't come talk about that? And me I say, so me could have come tell you anything else. Me could have come tell you, so me I have sinus, pressure high, all of them type of something there. Me no plan to come act like anything I sit it up on is defile. And anywhere I walk it up on is defile. Me no feel like nothing wrong with my body. I'm not dirty. This is what I am managing. And I found that by having these conversations, the other students in the class are better able to talk about it.
For sure. And that is exactly where I think we need to go. We need to get to the point where we're talking about periods as a regular, everyday thing. It is not this big secret that everybody needs to keep. And furthermore, gentlemen, if you're in a house with a woman in it, ask her some period question. Yes, introduce the period question, because she now come to you automatically, because we are all taught the same thing, that we need to hide our periods from Uno.
Yeah.
So Uno, ask period question. So what kind of pad they use? Maybe I supermarket, maybe I pack a pad.
Yeah.
What kind of pad they use? Ask her. And she will look funny a little weird, but don't worry. Ask her again. Because if she sees that you are comfortable with the products and you're interested in being a support system for her, she will definitely want to participate in that. But a lot of us are not really open to asking you first, because, like me said, we grew up in the same society.
Yeah.
And in our society,
Yeah.
periods need to be a dirty little secret that
Yeah.
we keep close, and don't tell no man.
Yeah. And if you're in the house with her and you never see any sign of a pad, you can ask the period question, because I know a lady that when she was little, they said to her, you know the thing, you can't make a man see a pad,
Yes.
especially the used one. And so her thing is, when she uses a pad, she goes into the bathroom and she picks it apart and flushes it.
Oh.
Every pad that this woman has ever used.
Long time.
Right. She's a big woman now, she owns her own house, and she's still doing the same thing. Right.
Wow.
Right. Because these things, they go with us. And so I think that we also need to, and I know it's one of the things they talk about, disposal. Or are we disposing of the pad? If you in this place with this woman and you see her a buy pad, but you never see no pad anywhere into no disposal, you need to ask, because you know what, your septic system is going to pay for it.
Oh gosh, man.
The
It's an expensive plumbing bill.
The toilet is not made to accept that amount of thing, and it have something in there we're supposed to absorb, and then it swell. When that go bung up in your place, you're in a problem. So what I am saying to you is this. Please stop picking the pad them apart and like throwing them down the thing, nothing around.
Do not flush your pads. All in little pieces. Do not flush your pads.
Yeah.
Jesus. Boy, you see the things that we go through just to maintain the, like, it is, I'm tired.
Shelly, you know, so in 2024, me did not talk to a man who tell me, say, me can't come visit him when me on period. And then the man go tell me, as a matter of pride, say, him born by a C-section.
Oh.
So him no vagina never go over him head yet.
Oh.
So, and when his mother get her period, because a man in the house, she left her own house, but stay elsewhere because she don't want period come in contact.
So what does he do for food?
What are so? No, them can't. No, you can't cook for him.
No,
At
so
that
it's
time.
not just people.
Yeah, man, he might go provide for himself. But
No,
remember,
because-
say,
I'm asking that because I spoke to a similar man, and when him say him don't cook, but him eat out. So me say, then
So,
the
the
chef
lady.
in the restaurant where I cook your food out the road, she probably unclean too. You eat period food all this time. I never know. I think I spoiled eating out for him.
and that's fine. Somebody needed to, because brother, what? The man gonna tell me say, yeah, him born by a C-section, so him never, him not have that experience there.
And I had to explain to a man about that, like him born by a C-section. I said, so you think that's a good thing for your mother? I said, you know that them do C-section if the natural birth don't work? Because there's usually an issue. Do you know that some women die in birth because they bleed out from a C-section? Do you know what happens? You know the risk that a woman takes just trying to give birth to a child? Y'all need to stop.
But it's a vagina, because the vagina never go in the head.
The wonderful super vagina. You wish a vagina could have, say if a vagina did touch you, that'd be a better human being. You know what? Let me look at my clipboard there because it's stressing me out. Oh my goodness.
Shelly.
Do you know your immune system improves when the baby passes through the vaginal canal in a real life? Anyway, focus.
To be fair, him look like him immune system they compromise as a result.
You know.
Anyway, go on again. We are asking again.
On that note, we're gonna take a pause here and we're gonna come back because Miss Carla is gonna ask us the Ask the Period Lady question of the week. Don't move. Everyday Period is brought to you by HerFlow Foundation. The HerFlow Foundation is dedicated to improving menstrual health and addressing key social issues affecting women and girls in Jamaica. Through advocacy, education, and direct support, HerFlow works to break the stigma surrounding menstruation and empower women to live healthier, more fulfilling lives. HerFlow's flagship project is to end the period poverty in Jamaica. Since inception, HerFlow has donated over 9 million menstrual products to Jamaicans in need. To learn more about HerFlow, please visit embraceherflow.com. And now it's time for my favorite part of the show, Ask the Period Lady. That is when we get to hear from you. But we're not going to hear from you today because Miss Carla is here so with me and she's got a question for the Period Lady. So ask the Period Lady. What's the question?
The question is this.
Mm-hmm.
You know how when we say, oh, we want to put pads places so people can get free pad when they need it, and then you have a set of people say you can't do that because them are going to take out the whole of the pad them one time or them go teach them and sell them back.
Yeah.
What are we supposed to do about that?
All right, so what I would recommend is, first of all, let us stop this thing where we make decisions on what to do for everybody just by focusing on the people who are going to take advantage of it, because there's always a group of people in there who just misbehave. So let us put them aside for a second. If we are going to be providing free pads, I recommend that you put it in a space where it can be seen. So for example, if you have a nurse's office or a health center or somewhere close like that, where they can go and get the pads, you don't necessarily have to give it to the nurse for her to keep so somebody can go ask her for it. However, put it in a space where she can see because conscience will bother them and they won't actually steal it in front of her. So they will go and take what they need and leave so somebody else can come and benefit. But if you put it in a private space, they're highly likely go over there but thief everything for themselves because people will people. But generally speaking, do not allow the bad behavior of a few to stop you from doing something good that will benefit the whole. All right? Do that. But if you want to put period products in your workplace, you can just do the same thing. Leave it at the sick bay or put it in where you have the first aid kit so people can go there and access it and get it to use. Because we say it already and I'm going to say it again. If you put free menstrual products in your office, you will just save a lot of money on tissue. I'm surprised. Remember I said that Carla agrees.
What is that? Because me I roll it so.
Yes.
Yeah, me I roll it so. Yeah, and because it not have the liquor back in to prevent the spillage, in a 1 hour me I roll again.
Yeah, roll again.
Big facts.
Easily go through a roll. Effortlessly go through a roll. Yeah, man. Hey, Everyday Period fam. If you're loving these real unfiltered conversations about reproductive health, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. Join the movement by liking, sharing, or dropping your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear from you. Let's keep breaking the stigma and spreading the knowledge. Periods don't stop, and neither do we. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, and Facebook at HerFlow Foundation. Well, that seems to be our show for the day. Oh gosh, I'm so sad it's over. But Carla is going to be back because we got lots more to talk about. But I just want to say thank you, Miss Carla, for joining us on Everyday Period. You're nice like rice. I can't follow with you.
Thank you for having me, Shelly, and thanks for having this show.
Of course. Tell the people where we can find you.
You can find me on most social media at More Talk JA in case you want to do a close-up. I'm at More Talk JA, MOORETALK JA, because my name is Carla Moore and talking is what I do and I'm currently in Jamaica. Yeah, it makes sense. I see you nodding.
It makes sense. All right, so you know what? I am Shelly, and then I'm going to get out of here. This has been Everyday Period. And before we go, I need to remind you that reproductive health is not just about periods and pregnancy. It's how we take care of ourselves physically, mentally, emotionally, even socially, and how we navigate through this world. As you go through life from puberty to menopause, remember that reproductive health is a major part of that, so take care of you. Be kind to yourself and take care of each other. Walk with a menstrual product, protect and preserve the period sisterhood. Until next time, take care of yourself. I am Shelly-Ann Meeks, the period lady. Later. If you want to get in touch after the show, send your questions or comments to embraceherflow@gmail.com. Until next time, remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel, Period TV. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, and Facebook at Herflow Foundation. Our website is embraceherflow.com, and don't forget to subscribe to our newsletter. Thanks to our production team, April and Digital Pro, for the great support, and thank you for tuning in. See you next time. Take care. Walk good.